Okay, so let's begin the webinar. So, welcome to another episode of Entab CampusCare EdTalks, an exclusive platform where we invite pioneers from the education industry to share their years of experience and insights with us. So, before moving forward, let me introduce you to Entab. With an experience of more than 2 decades, Entab has been associated with over 1,500 schools across India, evolving them to become new age digital campuses by providing them mature and futuristic ERP, CRM, and mobile apps. In today's session, we'll discuss about teaching human resource management in schools. We'll understand that how can human resource management is a life skill. We'll also learn that how can schools teach human resource management in classrooms and create some young leaders. So to discuss the same, we have a very important guest with us. So we are having Miss Shakuntala ma'am, the director of KJEI Trinity Group of Schools and Junior College Maharashtra. In her educational journey of more than 4 decades, ma'am has been awarded with the International Leadership Excellence Award, the National Building Award by Rotary Club, the Best Principal Award by the Rajasthan Board of Education, and many more accolades. So, welcome to the show, ma'am, Shakuntala ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm
Yes.
happy to be here.
Pleasure is all ours, ma'am. So, yeah, before starting, I would like to remind all of you to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon. Also, we are coming up with some regular vlogs where you will have all the insights from the corporate worlds. So, do subscribe it. Okay, so moving forward, so Shakuntala ma'am, the audience wants to know like our life revolves around people, although there can be a career made out of human resource management. So, ma'am, do you think that it is like a life skill now?
Definitely. It is a life skill. I mean, what is it that we need for human resource management? Definitely the connect with humans, empathy with humans.
Basically,
Then
the
we have
people
the
skills,
other
right?
resources. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, the other soft skills like communication skills,
Skills.
organizational skills, problem solving skills. All these are part of the soft skills that we do in some way or the other, inculcate in our students in some form or the other, whether it is academically done or it is done in the other events and other programs that we have in schools. So somewhere they are being taught all these things. So
Right.
definitely it is a life skill. And, without life skills, I don't think this can be a successful career.
Absolutely right. Very well said, Shakuntala ma'am. So moving on, so ma'am, like schools shape the personality and character of a person, as we all know. So ma'am, in your opinion, how it becomes very important for the school to manage their human resource effectively and efficiently?
Now, the whole, I think the basis of a school is growth and development of the student. And who does that? The teacher. And who hones the skills of the teacher? The principal.
Principle.
And then move on to, in that kind of hierarchy, if you move on. So it just goes backwards to everyone in the education field who are responsible for this. So for growth and development, you need to first, the administration of the school itself with the human resource managers, starting from there, where they select the right person, where they then the principal trains the person, then that the teacher is the one who will directly be in touch with the student, so
Yes.
she passes that on to the student, and in this way, it's just passed down right from the administration staff, the human resource management, or the manager, HR. From there it goes down, percolates down right to the student.
Yes, ma'am, because I also feel that like human resource management skills can help in increasing the student performance, as you mentioned. And ma'am, this can only help. This can be only possible with the involvement and motivation of the teachers, right?
Right, right.
And also,
Right.
ma'am,
That's important.
and also also these things can also help in the development of the students. These skills, human resource management skills, ultimately would help in the development of the students, ma'am.
Absolutely. We don't really have a course as such, in schools,
Okay, okay,
but
okay.
I think there should be,
That should be.
especially for the higher classes, because they are going to go out in the world. Some of them will go into the corporate world, some of them
Yes.
will be entrepreneurs, but wherever they go,
These
wherever there's
skills
a
are must,
workforce,
ma'am. Right.
they need these. They need these. And apart from the soft skills that I was talking about, there are the more specific skills that are needed when you
Right.
go out in the world, Your
Absolutely.
apart from the organizational skills, it's also the negotiating skills, which are
Hmm.
very essential to human resource.
Negotiating skills are,
Then
yes, we can, I can
confliction,
just,
conflict management,
yes,
conflict
very
management,
conflict
problem solving.
problem solving
Yeah,
skills,
I think,
then
yeah,
working in a
yeah.
team,
These are
that
all
skills,
yeah, working together as a team.
team.
All these things are what will matter to a student when he goes out into the world. He
Absolutely.
or she goes out into the world. So these things have to be done in a more structured manner if we have a proper course for them.
Hmm.
Although we do in some way or the other inculcate it,
Hmm.
in all the other things that we do in a school. But yes, it's all done piecemeal, somewhere they will be learning something somewhere. But to put it together and to make it into a structured program, that
Right.
I think would help a lot.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right, ma'am. So, Shakuntala, ma'am, moving on. So, ma'am, what would you like to advise the teachers in our audience that how they can should teach human resource management in their classrooms that can also help them in recognizing some young leaders? So, ma'am, as we all know that these resource management skills are also very important for the leaders,
True, true. So I would like to give you one example. I feel that the strategies that we use in our school when we are doing our, especially the instructional strategies. For example, I'll give you an example. I did a program and I did one project on design thinking.
design thinking.
So
Okay.
for grade 4 and 5,
And what's
we
that,
did this
ma'am?
project in which they had to design their own classroom
Okay.
because we had this pandemic happening, and
Uh-huh.
then we at that time we were thinking that schools will reopen, and when the schools reopen we need to have a different kind of environment which would be safe for the students, but at the same time the learning environment has to be
There.
maintained. So I gave this to the students and asked them to use the structured program of design thinking in order to do it. So, first of all, empathy. Now, because they were themselves part of it, the empathy was for them. Their own needs had to be taken care of. So, that was the first part of your design thinking.
Right.
Then they got together, we broke them into groups. So, when they were in their groups, they all
Collaboratively.
collaborated,
Right.
they
Absolutely.
learned teamwork.
Hmm.
And I found something very, I must say, unique in each group. So we did not designate any duties to them, and we just left them in a group. So they all had their different ways of trying to work together efficiently. So one group, there was a leader, born leader there, I suppose, because that child designated the duties to everyone. You do this, you do this, you do this, you do that. And in the other one, they themselves volunteered in another group. They all volunteered on their own. I will do this, I will do that, showing initiative. So many things came out of it. And when they did the brainstorming, first, they did the brainstorming where they all ideated this, thought of all the ideas that they could think of. I had also given them a budget.
Okay. Okay. Budget.
So I had told them, see, we have a classroom already. You cannot break the room and change the structure of the room. You
Hmm.
have some already, we have some
Specified
furniture.
area
You can,
furniture.
yeah, you can change the furniture if you feel like it, and you can do add on other things which you feel are necessary, but we have a limited budget
Hmm.
and you have to work within that budget. But if you want to go beyond the budget, then you have to do fundraising as well.
Okay.
So they also learned budgeting. They
Budgeting.
learned how to budget. So they looked at all the sites where the furniture, when they looked at decided on certain kind of furniture, they shopped around, you know, online. And this is all virtual, by the way. This was during the pandemic only.
Mm-hmm.
So they shopped around, looking at various sites. They even took the help of their parents, to find out where would they get this furniture, where would it be cheapest, And they also wanted to have some one group. Each group had a different idea of what they wanted. Some of them were trying to limit themselves within the budget. Some of them wanted to go beyond the budget, but at the same time, because they had this caveat that they had to arrange the funds, they also had to go one step further and to start thinking of how they could raise funds.
Right.
And very surprising things came out of it.
Yes.
One group said that the parents should pay the fees in time.
Okay.
One group said the parents should pitch it. Some of them said that we would do certain activity. We will make some products and we will sell them, and then whatever we get from there we will put into it. So they all did this kind of thing. So they did collaborating, they did budgeting, they did all the leadership qualities came out. They did problem solving. They all came up with their ideas, and they also learned to respect each other's views. It was very nice to hear each one of them. And when they were asked to make a video of all that they had planned and how did that happen, they gave space to each one to come out and talk about what they were doing. I thought that was very sweet.
Yes.
No, there was no hogging over the show. There was, equal kind of weightage given to each one's ideas, and some were taken, some were not. And the presentations that they made in the end were all very different. Some of them wanted one person to do the presentation. So there was only one child who did the presentation. Some of them drew charts. They even made the chart of how the architectural I think skill also came out when they made how the room would be structured, where the furniture would be kept, where would the layout of the room, all these things. So in this one project, I think they learned almost everything that was required for them in order to be ready for the world as such when they would grow up and as adults. And this is only grade 4 and 5, and you can imagine what would happen when they are in the higher classes, and they would have much more resources to look into, and much more they've seen more of, they would know than what these little ones did. But these are strategies in a classroom, so that children get exposed to being able to do things for themselves, to be able to think, to analyze, to problem solve, to even create. So all these got together in just project that we did. There's another project which we did some time back. Again, real life. I always think of it as let's look at real life projects. What's the use of doing something which now nobody is going to use in their life?
Second, ma'am, just want to ask, like, the project which you were talking about earlier. So, what was the outcome? Just wanted to know what was the outcome of the project. Like, was it successful? About that thing.
Yes, the success lies in when the school will reopen. Because it didn't. The schools did not reopen. But I promised them that I would. So we all had a consensus on which one among we can't have so many, 4 groups in each class. We can't have 4 classrooms. So we had a consensus for what kind of, we had a consensus on which one would be the best. The one of them was the prototype was taken. In some mixed up the different ones and put it together. So I've promised the 4th and 5th standard that when the school reopens, it will be exactly the way they had visualized it.
Great.
So the success would happen only once we get back to school. And I'm definitely going to make it happen.
But that's a Great idea. I mean, something different, and it was a nice idea, ma'am.
Yeah. There's another one which I just wanted to tell you about.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
We did one on, conservation of electricity in
Conservation of
school itself.
electricity. Hmm.
So, yeah, so we had a team. These were for the older children. So they were learning in physics about electricity,
Electricity.
about the units of electricity, amperes. So they didn't know what it is.
Hmm.
So we did the meter reading. They had to go and do the meter reading every day and prepare a graph at the end of the month and see how see the trend of how the electricity was growing. And in the meantime, they also made teams. One team was looking at the data collection part of it.
Hmm.
The other was analyzing
Analyzing.
the whole trend, what is happening. Another was the monitors who went around, the light monitors who went around and checked what was happening in each class, how many how much electricity was being used or wasted, or how it could be. That was one part of their program. And the next part of the project was how meter reading is converted into the bill, how
Hmm.
much money
Okay.
it costs. And then when they looked at that, they had to get their bill reduced. So the next month was, they were like the light warriors, went around making sure that nobody was putting on the lights unnecessarily, including my room. I remember they came to my room. I have a false ceiling, and because it's a little in the corner, so about six lights on top, in the
Hmm.
were on.
Right.
He came into my room and said, "Ma'am, you don't need so many,
Lights.
bulbs." So they shut off my lights. They've only put two lights. They said, "This is enough for you." I said, "Okay." In that, of the month, the bill was definitely reduced,
Reduced.
and we had a Founders Day. The chairman was presented with the two him
It's
how much electricity,
was
how
saved.
much money in electrical bills they had saved in the school for him.
Great.
It's Founders Day. So this is the kind of, now here again, look at the different skills that they all were able to use.
Incorporate, right?
So giving them that kind of guidance and initiative to do things on their own, and to give them these problems, the life problems, and ask them to find solutions to them, itself is a big learning. So
Absolutely.
I feel the examination system, assessment in the form of an examination, is just something that they might have, learned by rote and just
They'll
produced it
just
on
mug up
paper.
and
But
then
actual
exam.
learning comes
Absolutely.
from, and I don't think that is a good evaluation of their work or assessment for what they're doing.
Right.
I think this was more relevant as an assessment. And that's why in our school, we do a lot of such assessments.
Okay.
Examinations are only part of it.
Hmm.
That is only, we do only one half yearly and one final. That's it. But apart from that, the rest is all multiple assessments happening in different ways,
That's
so
great.
that they get to hone their other skills as well.
That's great. That's great.
So I think
So
the strategies you use in the school, you can do it. You can combine everything and definitely make them ready for their, real life entry into the world.
absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. So very well said, Shakuntala, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your valuable insights on this topic. And it was great interacting with you, ma'am. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank
I'm
you,
very
ma'am.
happy to always be with you within NTAB. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much. Bye bye, ma'am. And to all the viewers who are
Bye.
watching us, if you haven't subscribed the channel, so do subscribe it for regular updates. Till then, stay happy, stay safe. Thank you, everyone.